Hello, and welcome to Fad Dieting, a guide for dietitians. My name is Chelsea, and over the course of two webinars, we will be discussing a brief history of dieting and body image in the U.S., the most popular types of fad diets you may encounter in your practice or when counseling patients, the biochemistry and physiology of different diet types, and examples of each diet type. This is part two of two. My references are found on the last slides of this presentation. I encourage you to look through them for further study. As a disclaimer, this was made in the spring of 2015. The diets shown here are some of the most popular in the 2010s. The biochemistry and potential side effects presented here are based on the current body of research and knowledge available. Nutrition is an ever-evolving science, and as more information is discovered, nutrition recommendations change accordingly. I also want to note that no financial gain is being made with these webinars, and I am not affiliated with any of the diets mentioned here. The program is strictly educational for use by registered dietitian, nutritionists, and other healthcare professionals. In this section, we'll be going over the last three of four most popular food-based diet types, beginning with very low-calorie diets, moving to liquid diets, then ending with food-centered diets. This is part two of two. At the conclusion of this webinar, you should be able to describe how very low-calorie diets work, including the biochemistry and potential side effects, and identify examples of very low-calorie diets and the main theories behind them. Describe how liquid diets work, including biochemistry and side effects, and identify examples of liquid diets and the main theories behind them. Describe how food-centered diets work, including the biochemistry and potential side effects, and identify examples of food-centered diets and the main theories behind them. Lastly, you should be able to summarize current Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics guidelines about healthy eating and proper weight management strategies, and understand the importance of body acceptance and weight satisfaction. We start this webinar with very low-calorie diets. Most healthcare professionals agree that weight loss is accomplished through creating a negative calorie balance and forcing the body to utilize fat stores for energy. This energy deficit can be done through decreasing certain amounts of different macronutrients, such as carbs, or by decreasing all three macronutrients in equal proportion. For the morbidly obese, very low-calorie diets are traditionally defined as a balanced ratio of protein, carbs, and fat in reduced quantities to provide energy intake of 800 to 1,500 calories per day. Under medical supervision, these diets are used to get morbidly obese patients to a certain amount of weight loss to perform surgery safely. The very low-calorie and fasting diets without medical supervision are also popular fad diet regimens. Creators of these diets often promote a special pill, drink, supplement, or eating schedule that is supposed to kickstart weight loss coupled with low-calorie intake. Many people do lose weight on very low-calorie diets and fasting diets, but because caloric intake is generally less than 1,000 calories a day, this is an expected result. This weight loss, which isn't water anyway, is rarely sustainable because of the strict nature of the diet and the negative side effects that come with these diets. Very low-calorie diets are essentially starvation diets, and the body responds in the same way that it would in any state of starvation. When the body is in starvation mode, both blood glucose and liver glycogen levels are depleted, in turn dropping blood sugar and insulin levels. With a decrease of glucose as a fuel, the body breaks down fat through lipolysis, producing free fatty acids and ketone bodies. However, unlike in low-carb diets, when the dieter generally eats enough calories through protein and fat to avoid a starvation state, the very low-calorie dieter does not, and the body begins to respond accordingly. Metabolic rate decreases in an attempt to match the energy expenditure with intake, further decreasing the body's ability to burn fat. While fat breakdown does occur, muscle mass is also broken down as potential fuel. The main goal for very low-calorie diets, and the supplementation that may go along with them, is to make fat the primary fuel for the body and retain as much muscle mass and lean body mass as possible. This model shows all the moving bodily systems involved in a starvation state. Metabolic rate decreases to 20 to 25 calories per kilogram a day. Fat breakdown is the primary energy source. The body attempts to hold on to lean body mass as much as possible, with less than 10% of energy coming from lean tissue. The dangers of very low-calorie diets are very real because the dieter is depriving the body of nourishment. Many of the diets claim that they provide all the necessary nutritional requirements for the body to survive, but it is almost impossible to get all the vitamins and minerals the body requires on only 800 calories of food a day. Many of the side effects are associated with starvation and the deficiencies of key vitamins or macronutrients: nausea, diarrhea, fatigue, menstrual irregularities, and hair loss. Confusion and a decrease in mental acuity can also occur because of the lack of nourishment going to the brain. And while physical activity is generally recommended on these diets to retain muscle mass, it can be very difficult to work out from the constant physical fatigue associated with very low-calorie diets. Binge eating is also connected with very low-calorie diets because of the extreme restrictions put in place, causing the dieter to put most, if not all, the weight presumably lost back on. These are the 4 diets we'll be discussing in this section: the FAST diet, the 3-day diet, the HCG diet, and the new Beverly Hills diet. The first very low-calorie diet we'll discuss is called the FAST diet, also known as intermittent fasting. The FAST diet, or intermittent fasting, was created by Dr. Michael Mosley and was designed after an experiment he tried on himself to decrease his cholesterol and blood sugar levels. The overall idea is that the dieter eats normally 5 days of the week and decreases their calorie intake dramatically on the other 2 days of the week. Once desired weight loss is achieved, Mosley recommends fasting for at least 1 day a week to retain that weight loss for life. The theory behind this diet is that the body gets desensitized to nutrients consumed through food at the rate we do today. Mosley says humans are programmed for periods of feast and famine, and by fasting 2 days of the week, the dieter is recreating this effect. By fasting periodically and nourishing the body at strategic times, the dieter can recondition the body's sensitivity to protein and other nutrients. Another popular version of this diet is called the 5-2 diet: 5 days of eating normally and 2 days of fasting throughout the week. The diet is relatively easy to follow because the only preparing one has to do is on the fast days. The only real rule about intermittent fasting involves some aspect of when and how you get your calories and macronutrients. The caloric decrease on fasting days is 500 calories for women and 600 for men, no matter what one's age, physical activity, height, and weight are. On fasting days, the dieter is encouraged to eat protein, low GI fruits, and vegetables, plus whatever calorie-free beverages they want. The other 5 days of the week should be eating as normal. We move on to the 3-day diet. The 3-day diet, also known as the military diet, is a diet that consists of eating between 600 and 1,000 calories a day of very basic food items for 3 days. While no one has been credited with designing this diet, it is said to be one of the most popular short-term diets around. The diet claims to help people lose up to 10 pounds in as little as 3 days. Whether the weight loss is retained once dieters begin to eat normally again has not been shown. The 3-day meal plan is pretty set, with a few substitutions if the dieter dislikes some of the food options. For example, breakfast may consist of toast, peanut butter, and coffee. Lunch is toast, tuna fish, and coffee. And dinner is meat, a couple vegetables, and a fruit. This strict menu is followed for 3 days. This is the full menu for the 3-day diet. It's pretty sparse. And while people claim to have lost 10 pounds on this, which is not surprising considering how little they are eating, there is no evidence that any of this is ever kept off. And again, no after diet advice. Next is the HCG diet. Since the 1960s, supplement use has been very popular in America. And over the past few decades, the supplement industry has been extremely lucrative. From 1994 to 2000, the supplement industry grew nearly 80%, from $8.8 billion to $15.7 billion. And according to Forbes.com, it hit $32 billion in 2012. Weight loss is one of the most prevalent uses of supplements, giving rise to the resurgence of HCG. Human chorionic gonadotropin is a hormone that the body naturally makes during pregnancy and aids in the nourishment of the fertilized egg after it attaches to the uterine wall. HCG was originally released as a weight loss supplement in the 50s, but recently has regained popularity when it was promoted to the public in the form of an ultra-low-cal diet coupled with the supplement. The theory with the HCG supplement is that while on a restrictive diet, the hormone will help hold on to muscle mass while encouraging the body to lose just fat stores for energy. Supposedly, HCG tells the body to release abnormal fat and hold on to lean muscle, all designed to establish a new body weight and to reset your metabolism. The diet itself is an 8-week, 500 calorie a day program, while taking HCG in the form of a shot, drop, pellet, or a spray. It consists of 2 meals a day that must include 1 protein, 1 vegetable, 1 fruit, and 1 bread. It includes a set list of what are acceptable choices for each of these. For example, a chicken breast, spinach, an orange, and 1 piece of toast. The diet claims to help dieters lose 20 to 30 pounds in the 8-week program. This diet is particularly risky. The 500 calories a day is an extremely low energy level and is nearly impossible to obtain all of one's nutritional needs on so few calories. It is also important to note that HCG has never been approved by the FDA as a weight loss supplement or safe for human consumption. The FDA says there is no substantial evidence that the HCG products help people lose weight. And if weight loss does occur, it's from the 500 calories a day, not the supplement. And last of the low-calorie diets, we're going to be discussing the new Beverly Hills diet. One of the most popular diets of the 1980s, the Beverly Hills diet was reintroduced in the 2000s and still remains relevant, despite there being no scientific research to back up any of the theories presented. Founder Judy Maisel created this diet after attempting it herself and losing a considerable amount of weight. It is based on her theory that as long as food is fully digested, you will not gain weight. She said it is food that is stuck in the body for whatever reason and accumulates that causes weight gain. The other main concept in this diet is that different foods contain different enzymes, some of which aid in digestion of food. By retraining the digestive system with a fruit-based diet, Maisel claims one will lose 10 to 15 pounds in the first 5 weeks. For 35 days, the dieter will eat primarily fruit. For example, day 2 consists of prunes and strawberries. You can eat as much of this all day, and a baked potato at dinner. During the 35 days, there are a few protein days and splurge days, but for the most part, this is it. Once the 35-day introductory weight loss plan is over, there are four principles that the dieter must follow to maximize weight loss. 1. Fruit must be eaten alone at all times. The day should begin with an enzymatic fruit, such as prunes or pineapple. 2. Protein can be combined with fat, but not carbohydrates. 3. Carbohydrates can be combined with fat, but not protein. And 4. Most alcoholic beverages, like beer and spirits, are considered carbohydrates. Wine is a fruit. These principles are all based on Maslow's idea that certain enzymes in the food and in the body work together to fully digest food. According to Maslow, when certain food types are mixed or eaten at the wrong time, the enzymes are not able to work properly, and food is left undigested and allowed to accumulate to form body fat. One can eat as much of the allowed foods as they want, as long as they follow the rules. There is absolutely no scientific research backing this theory up, and if weight loss ensues, it's from the lack of calorie intake during the day, and not the rules of the diet. We move on now to the liquid calorie diets. Liquid calorie diets are liquid formulas that are supposed to supply all of one's nutrients and vitamins in calorie-controlled drinks, generally under 400 calories. While many hospitals and medical centers utilize liquid diets for morbidly obese patients, there are many liquid diets available to the public, promoting ease of use and a convenient way to lose weight. These are appealing because they take away the frustration of counting calories or grams of certain macronutrients or following strict rules. These diets all focus on supplying the correct amounts of macronutrients and vitamins and minerals in special concentrations formulated to cleanse and detoxify the body and take weight off quickly and easily. Before we begin, I want to go over the difference between the words detox and cleanse, which are often used interchangeably, but they're actually quite different. And neither a cleanse nor a detox are specifically for weight loss. A detox focuses solely on eliminating toxins or free radicals caused by things like smoking or pollution from the body. A cleanse is described as cleaning up the digestive tract, eliminating fecal blockages, excessive fungi, and bacteria. While there is little evidence showing that cleanses or detoxes are effective, neither are described for weight loss. The example liquid diets described here are designed for weight loss. Other health benefits may also be included, but weight loss is a primary selling point for them. Many times they have the words detox or cleanse in the title, but these words may not accurately reflect what the diet is for. The way liquid diets work is the same as very low calorie diets. Liquid diets tend to cut calories so drastically that the body is forced into a starvation state. Water is lost, with fat loss and muscle wasting to follow. Likewise, they tend to be monotonous because the dieter is only consuming that one drink for a number of days, and they tend to lack essential nutrients and fiber. Generally, liquid diet programs are only for a short amount of time, ranging from a day to 2 weeks. Dizziness, confusion, disorientation, and fatigue are the biggest side effects one can experience from a liquid or any low-calorie diet. During prolonged periods of a very low-calorie intake, gallstones and heart arrhythmias can occur. The three liquid diets we will be going over is the Master Cleanse, the Hollywood 48-Hour Miracle Diet, and the Purium Cleanse. We start with the Master Cleanse, aka the lemonade diet. The Master Cleanse is easily one of the most notorious liquid diets because it's been used by several celebrities, Beyonce Knowles being the most notable. The diet consists of only three things: a lemonade-like drink made of water, lemon juice, maple syrup, and cayenne pepper, a saltwater drink, and an herbal laxative tea. Created originally by Stanley Burroughs in the late 1970s, the diet is not just a cleansing weight loss detox, but is also said to cure every kind of disease. According to Burroughs, detoxing one's body is necessary for optimum health. While the liver can do some of the work, it needs help in the toxic world humans currently live in. Excess fat and weight gain is one of these disorders that the Master Cleanse can address. When one is on the cleanse, it should last for a minimum of 10 days. No cheating involved. The four ingredients are vital to the cleanse, all chosen specially for this formulation. The first ingredient, lemons, are a natural acid used to break down calcified substances into alkalized bodily tissues. Maple syrup provides the energy during the cleanse, the best quality syrup being the best choice. Cayenne pepper is vital to this diet because it is said to act as a stimulant that raises metabolism and increases circulation by purifying and thinning the blood. And water, as Burroughs says, is the universal solvent. All of this combined should be consumed for a minimum of 10 days. Some people will need longer, depending on how overweight and or toxic they are. After 10 days, the dieter can gradually add some foods back into the diet. However, the plan allows for very little meat and no dairy. Next up is the Hollywood 48-hour miracle diet. Similar to the Master Cleanse in its attempt to detoxify the body, the Hollywood Miracle Diet was designed as a health spa in a bottle, attempting to emulate the feeling one has after visiting an expensive spa, but without the cost. Sunset Health Products, the manufacturer, theorizes that excess weight in a human's body is a reaction to a toxic environment. With this theory in mind, Sunset says that people are in a chronic state of disease because of the world today. Environmental pollutants, poor food quality, and stress being the biggest players. These toxins wreak havoc on the digestive system by collecting in our bloodstream and tissues, causing us to feel tired, sick, or overweight. Sunset Health created a list of the common symptoms of environmental toxicity. If a person experiences any of these, they are good candidates for the diet. As you can see, there's a wide variety of conditions, ranging from acne and bad breath, to mood disorders, to stomach issues and excessive weight. According to Sunset, all of these will be fixed when a healthy colon is present. The Hollywood 48-hour miracle diet consists of the dieter consuming one 32-ounce bottle of the Hollywood Miracle drink, costing about $20 a bottle. The drink itself is made of a blend of juices and botanical extracts in water. The ingredient list shows that it contains 9 different fruit extracts and 10 different vitamins, totaling up to 100 calories per 4 ounces. And since the diet recommends one 32-ounce bottle over 2 days, the dieter will only be receiving about 400 calories a day, plus about 4 times their daily limit on the 10 vitamins. There should be no extra food or caffeine ingested during the weight loss fast. This shows both the supplement label and ingredient list of the Hollywood Miracle Diet drink. Lots of juices and added vitamins with little else. And the last liquid diet we'll be discussing is called the Purium Cleanse. Created by David Sandoval, the self-proclaimed nutritional coach to the stars, the Purium diet is the latest weight loss cleanse to hit Hollywood and the public. The actual product is a drink mix, which is made into a power shake given 3 times during the day for 10 days. The theory of the product, similar to other weight loss cleanses, is that the body is perfectly capable of maintaining maximum health as long as it is given the proper tools. The current American lifestyle sets the body up for failure. By not giving it what it truly needs, it is not able to fully heal and maintain itself in working order. This means sickness and obesity. Sandoval touts that the miracle concept one needs to follow is that plants heal. Sandoval says that during the transformation, your metabolism will retrain itself and one's cells will seek nutrition instead of calories. Other than this description, there is no actual breakdown of what is actually in the drink mix. Like other liquid diets, Purium gives a very specific breakdown of what the dieter may consume and when to consume it. The day starts with water and 5 master aminos, a supplement made of vegetarian protein. 2 hours later, the dieter has 2 scoops of the Purium Power Cleanse. The day continues, switching back and forth between Power Shake and master amino supplements until bedtime. During the day, the dieter is allowed 3 flex foods. The flex food list is short: organic apples, 1 cup of watermelon or berries, organic celery, an avocado, and several others. This cycle goes on for 10 days, after which Sandoval claims the dieter is transformed and 5 to 20 pounds lighter. This slide shows the actual breakdown of the 10-day schedule, which is all bundled into a 10-day transformation pack. Starting price is $225. The last major diet category we'll be discussing is called food-centered diets. Food-centered diets have been notoriously popular over the years because of their simplicity and easy-to-follow rules. This category is a bit of a catch-all for diets that focus on eliminating or focusing on one or several special foods. They're based on the idea that eating or eliminating this one or set of miracle or magic food will burn fat, increase metabolism, heal the body, and other things. The magic food generally has some property that others don't. This food is eaten exclusively and many times in abnormal quantities. While the theories for each diet range, they all have the same potential problems. These dangers mostly deal with the fact that by eating just one type of food, healthy or not, and omitting a variety of others, again, healthy or not, the dieter will miss out on a host of macro and micronutrients and vitamins. These types of diets are potentially dangerous, nutritionally unbalanced, and have no scientific backing. They also encourage poor eating habits. So why are they so popular? These diets resonate soundly with the public because they tend to be simple, prescription-based, and easy to follow. And people lose weight. Like low-calorie and liquid diets, weight loss on a food-centered diet is from a decrease in calories because overall, the dieter is eating fewer calories than they normally would. Sorry, no magic food. Instead, the dieter is focusing on what he or she is eating, measuring, taking notes, all healthy habits that encourage weight loss and eating awareness. However, because these diets offer no after-diet advice or permanent rule changes, the person will go back to eating as usual. Extreme food-centered diets like these can have some very alarming consequences, especially where food groups are limited or eliminated from the diet completely. By eating just one type of food or food group, the dieter puts him or herself at risk for missing out on important nutrients, which all the associated deficiencies to follow. Plus, they are difficult to stick with. These diets are monotonous, and even if the dieter is eating something he or she enjoys, the routine can get dull and boring, which can lead to binge eating and feelings of guilt and failure. Someone could be on the chocolate diet and still get bored. There is no research regarding the efficacy of any of these food-centered diets. While there are countless food-centered diets, the ones we'll be discussing are some of the most popular, but also offer some of the most comprehensive theories about weight loss. Again, none of these theories have ever been proven scientifically. This part of the webinar will include the gluten-free diet, Eat for Your Blood Type diet, the 1997 version of the cabbage soup diet, a version of the apple cider vinegar diet, the Special K challenge, the raw food diet, and finally, the negative calorie diet. I want to begin by saying that for an individual with celiac disease, a gluten-free diet is the only known treatment. However, recently, gluten has become public enemy number one, with millions of Americans trying to cut the substance out of their diet. These days, eating gluten has been targeted as a cause of almost every medical condition in the book, ranging from headaches and fatigue to arthritis, inflammation, and irritable bowel syndrome. Another cause gluten is supposedly responsible for is weight gain, leading to many people cutting it out of their diet. A common misunderstanding about gluten-free is that it is a weight loss diet, and thus the most common reason consumers follow this diet. There is a perception that gluten-free foods are healthier than their gluten-containing counterparts. There's no proof that going gluten-free helps with weight loss or any condition if one does not have a diagnosed disease or sensitivity. The gluten-free diet consists of only one rule: eliminate gluten from the diet. The restriction of gluten means restricting all the foods that gluten is found in. All wheat-based products, such as bread, pasta, pastries, pizza dough, and other grains like barley and rye, and these subsequent products. There are several theories as to why a gluten-free diet may lead to some weight loss. One study suggested that ghrelin levels in children with celiac disease decrease once they begin a gluten-free diet, leading to a decrease in hunger stimulation. But primarily, weight loss ensues simply because when people are choosing gluten-free products, they are avoiding more processed foods like cakes and treats, and aiming instead for whole foods. They're paying more attention to food labels, and they're replacing white flour products with higher fiber grains like quinoa or spelt. However, there are potential consequences to following a gluten-free diet for non-celiac dieters. Many of the gluten-free products are not healthier versions at all. One reason is because when flour is removed to make gluten-free products, sugar and fat are often used as substitutes to emulate the structure and mouthfeel that gluten gave to the product. This leads to packaged gluten-free products actually being higher in fat, sugar, and calories than their gluten counterparts. In turn, weight gain is possible on gluten-free diet if the dieter is not aware. Gluten-free flours such as rice, tapioca, and potato flours also tend to have higher GI scores, leading to lower satiation and bigger spikes in blood sugar. These products also tend to be more processed, leading to a decrease in vitamins and nutrients, most notably the B vitamins, which are found in whole wheat flours, and fiber. Many substitute flours used in these products are low in nutrient value and cannot make up for the missing nutrition. Up next is the Eat for Your Blood Type diet. Created by Dr. Peter D'Adamo, the blood type diet is a set of 4 different diets, each specially designed for each blood type. The blood type classification system is based on the different antigens, either A or B, present or not present in different blood types. Every person has one of 4 blood type categories: type O, type A, type B, or type AB. D'Adamo bases his diet prescription based on these theories of the origins of each blood type. What did each blood type have to fight or adapt to for the people of that time? This chart describes the four blood types and the characteristics Diadamo gives to each one. As I go through this, please remember much of this is theoretical, based solely on Diadamo's Eat for Your Blood Type diet book. Let's start with type O, the hunter. Type O, devoid of any antigen, is the oldest blood type and most prominent in the older ethnicities of the human race, such as Africans, Eskimos, and South American Native Americans. These societies were hunter-gatherers, with most of their food intake being meat and any vegetables and fruit they can scavenge. He describes type O's as meat eaters, hardy digestive tract, intolerant to diet and environmental adaptations, and efficient metabolisms. Type A blood type came next, between 25,000 and 15,000 BC in the Middle East, when humans began to settle down and cultivate food for themselves. This change in how humans lived and ate was a drastic change, and humans began to evolve based on these new ways of living. A's are classified as the cultivators. They're vegetarian, they have sensitive digestive tract, and they adapt well to settled dietary and environmental conditions. Type B came next, somewhere between 10,000 and 15,000 BC. Giordano hypothesizes that as humans began to move from warm, tropical climates like Africa and the Middle East and more towards cold Himalayas in Asia, the body needed to adapt to these new conditions. This group of people also moved towards Europe, bringing this new blood type into Eastern Europe. The eating habits of this Asian group changed to an entirely different agriculture system, based more on the climate and the lands of China. He calls bees the nomads. They're balanced, tolerant digestive tract, flexible dietary choices, and dairy eaters. The newest blood type is type AB, which is a mix of types A and B. Diadamo says that as European empires began to crumble, such as the Romans, invaders from the east began taking over the region. And as a result of the intermingling of these Eastern people and that of European civilization, type AB was born. ABs are the enigma. They're merging of the A and B blood types. They have chameleon-like response to changing environmental and dietary conditions, and they have a sensitive digestive tract. Weight loss is not the only benefit Diadamo promotes in his book. He claims that the reason anyone has any illness or chronic condition is because they haven't been eating the correct way for their blood type. Once they begin to follow the diet that's appropriate to their blood type, most of the problems experienced should be cured. This includes conditions like diabetes, heart disease, hypertension, and other serious conditions. This table also shows the blood type example foods that help or hinder the dieter's weight loss optimal health. Next up is the infamous cabbage soup diet. While no one person or group is credited with the creation of the original diet, this version of the cabbage soup diet is a good example. The new cabbage soup diet, written by Margaret Danbrought, claims that the dieter can lose up to 10 pounds in only 1 week, all while feeling full and satisfied. While she admits that there's nothing magical about cabbage soup, cabbage is the ultimate weight loss food, she says. It's nutritious, good tasting, quick cooking, low cost, and full of fiber, vitamins, and nutrients. Calories do count on this diet, but if followed correctly, it shouldn't be an issue, she says, because all the allowable foods are very low calorie. For 7 days, the dieter is allowed unlimited cabbage soup, with a few added foods that are specific for each day. For example, on day 1, the dieter is allowed to add a baked potato to dinner. This slide shows the recipe for the soup, which is to be eaten for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. This diet is not meant for life, and Danbrought notes that anyone with a health condition should not attempt this diet. She hopes that once the dieter loses weight on the diet the first time, he or she will continue to periodically use it throughout the year to maintain the benefits. Next is the apple cider vinegar diet. For centuries, vinegar has been used for numerous things, from household cleaning agent to a polisher to treat skin rashes and other homeopathic remedies. Acetic acid, the main acid found in apple cider vinegar, has been used as a home remedy to kill head lice, ease unsettled digestive tracts, and other things. But recently, apple cider vinegar has been sold as a magic solution to aid in weight loss. This version is called Lose Weight with Apple Vinegar by Klaus Oberbiel. Oberbiel explains that apple cider vinegar works against the buildup of fat in several different ways. One way is that acetic acid blocks the hormonal signifiers in the mouth that alert the body if it's ingested something sweet. When these signifiers are blocked, the desire for sweets decrease, thus decreasing one's cravings for sugary foods. He says acetic acid also makes the stomach more acidic, thus activating stress hormones in the body, which then unlock fat cells and allow them to release their stored energy. Acetic acid also decreases the amount of fat actually taken up by the intestinal mucosa, decreasing the amount of dietary fat that reaches the fat cells. Lastly, Oberbiel claims that acetic acid increases cellular activity, leading to an increase in metabolism. On this diet, calories don't matter. Oberbiel explains that as long as the dieter is ingesting the right foods, along with apple cider vinegar, weight loss will still occur. The book offers the dieter 3 different weight loss plans: a 3-day, a week, or 4-week plan. Each day involves the dieter drinking a mixture of apple cider vinegar, carbonated water, and a little honey before each meal. Every meal must consist of the allowed foods. This list includes whole grain products, low-fat cheese, all fruits, all vegetables, potatoes, rice, roast beef or ham, chicken, soy products, butter, and vegetable oils. Oberbiel makes most sweets and pastries off limits, plus all sauces, ice cream, white flour, and rice products. Also, no alcohol is allowed. Next up is a Special K challenge. The Special K challenge is a 2-week program created by the Kellogg's Company based on the dieter consuming Special K cereal products and losing up to 6 pounds in 2 weeks. There is no special chemistry behind this diet. It's a low-calorie diet that forces the dieter to understand portion control. The diet consists of 1 serving of any Special K cereal, 1 cup, with 2/3 cup of skim milk for breakfast and lunch for 14 days. Dinner should be a sensible meal. The dieter also gets 2 snacks, 1 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon, also Special K products, which range from granola bars, drinks, baked cookies, or crackers. The Special K diet was not designed for long-term living. The diet is meant to kickstart the dieter towards their goal by teaching them portion control and sensible snacking. The diet is simple to follow and relatively low in cost. However, nutritionally, Special K isn't really a winner. It's low in calories, but also low in fiber and vitamins. This diet could probably be accomplished using any different cereal. Next up is the raw food diet. The raw food diet has become very popular recently because of its purported health benefits, one of which being weight loss and increased energy. This diet is simple in theory. Consume only raw fruits, vegetables, grains, and nuts and seeds. Warming foods is allowed, but nothing over 116 degrees Fahrenheit. The theory behind the raw food diet deals with natural enzymes found in raw food sources. These enzymes are important because they are said to improve digestion, fight chronic disease, and decrease excess weight. When food is processed, blended, dehydrated, baked, microwaved, grilled, fried, or any way of preparation, these enzymes are destroyed, thus negating any positive enzymatic effect of the foods when eaten. Raw foodists say that not only does heating kill the enzymes, but it also makes the food toxic to the body. This diet does work for weight loss, but because of the severe restrictions in place. The emphasis on fruits, vegetables, and grains is in line with most nutrition and weight loss recommendations. The biggest concepts for the diet are unprocessed and unrefined foods only. No heating, cooking, or processing is allowed. Generally, this limits the dieter to no meat or dairy unless it's unpasteurized, seafood, or eggs. The dieter is allowed to eat as much as they want as long as it's raw. This slide shows the raw food pyramid. Leafy greens and fruit make up most of the diet, followed by nuts and seeds, then seaweed and wheatgrass. More sparingly used is cold-pressed oils and nutritional yeast. Weight loss may occur, but this is mostly from the severe eating restrictions. And the diet we end with is the negative calorie diet. The negative calorie diet is based on the idea that certain foods, called negative calorie foods, create a negative calorie state in the body and allow the dieter to lose weight. Everything a person consumes takes energy to digest and utilizes energy or store as glycogen or fat. This energy is called the thermogenic effect. Dr. Neil Barnard created this diet and says that the amount of energy used in the digestion process differs from food to food, some using more energy than others. This diet is pro-carb because, according to Dr. Barnard, carbohydrates boost metabolism. Barnard says that when insulin is present, it stimulates the release of the neurotransmitter norepinephrine, which leads to an increase in metabolism. The theory, as Barnard writes it, is that a calorie is not just a calorie. There's a difference between a carb calorie, a fat calorie, and a protein calorie. The example Barnard uses is this. For every 100 calories of carb that your body tries to store as fat, 23 are lost in the process of breaking down carb molecules and building fat molecules from them. So, if one eats an unlimited amount of carb, this loss can exponentially increase. There are several rules for this diet, mainly dealing with how much of each type of food the dieter can intake. For example, Barnard gives a list of foods one can virtually eat as much as they want. These include corn, rice, lettuce, broccoli, potatoes, celery, peas, cauliflower, oranges, oatmeal, beans, and lentils. These are all high fiber carbs that take more energy to break down and utilize. Foods to avoid are almost all fats, no matter the type. Animal fats, all oils, butters, etc. are almost off limits. To be specific, the caloric breakdown, according to Barnard, should be 15% of fat. The rest of the day's calories should come from carb-containing foods, with little emphasis on protein. Barnard de-emphasizes protein and cites that protein in high quantities can be very dangerous. Protein should come from plant sources only, for the most part. A menu full of whole grains, beans, fruit, and vegetables should suffice. Like I mentioned earlier, the list of food-centered diets is vast. Other examples of these are the popcorn diet, chocolate diet, the grapefruit diet, the egg diet, and the ice cream diet. There are plenty more. To end this presentation, let's leave off with some recommendations for healthy weight loss and some tips to remember when counseling clients. The Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics states that the total diet or overall pattern of food eaten is the most important focus of healthy eating. This means that all foods can fit into this pattern as long as the portion size is appropriate and physical activity is encouraged. Generally, the recommended daily intake of different vitamins, nutrients, and micronutrients are what determines how much of each food group should be consumed. Nutrient-dense foods should be encouraged, like fruits and vegetables, and low nutrient-dense foods, such as sweets and fried foods, should be eaten sparingly. The USDA's MyPlate is a helpful tool when visualizing how much of each food group one should consume at every meal. MyPlate segments are broken into fruits, vegetables, grains, protein, and dairy. Sugar-sweetened beverages should be avoided, and low-nutrient, high-calorie foods should be eaten sparingly. If one wants to lose weight, he or she must be ready for a total lifestyle change. Eating behaviors do have to change, along with incorporating physical activity into the daily life. But these habits have to be seen as a change for life, not just a few days or weeks. A person looking to lose weight should deduct between 250 to 500 calories per day from his or her usual consumption. Because 1 pound of fat is equal to 3,000 calories, the dieter should expect to lose roughly a half a pound to a pound a week. Body image and weight satisfaction are also important components RDNs and health professionals should focus on improving. The 2013 study conducted by Blake found that adults with greater weight satisfaction, regardless of BMI, had better health statuses. They found that individuals with greater weight dissatisfaction were more likely to diet, yo-yo diet, and were less active, but also had higher rates of hypertension, diabetes, and hypercholesterolemia than their weight-satisfied counterparts in the same BMI range. And lastly, there is no research that any fad diet is an effective tool for sustained weight loss. This page contains a list of weight loss resources that are available to RDNs from the Academy. They include the Evidence Analysis Library, the Nutrition Care Process Manual, CDRNet's Weight Management Self-Study Program and Certification, and the Weight Management Dietetic Practice Group. Thank you so much for listening to my Part 2 webinar, Fad Dieting, A Guide for Dietitians. I hope this has been informative and has provided you tools and strategies to help when discussing fad diets with clients. The following slides are my references, and I encourage you to look through these to follow up for more information. Again, thank you for viewing.